it'll be a short, but can we do a roll call?
All right, I have Mac McLean.
Yes, here.
Bob Wilkerson.
Here.
Jeff Terry.
Here.
Terry Arcieri is excused, and Tim Opilia and Joseph Myers are absent at this time.
Okay. I'm not even sure by the bylaws whether we can actually even approve meeting summary.
We cannot.
I didn't think so.
If anyone has any questions or changes. I'm good with the minutes.
I'm good with the minutes, no changes at this point, but like you said, we just have to wait till we have a quorum to be able to adopt them formally.
We can come back to it if we achieve a quorum.
Right.
I also didn't have any changes, so unless any new additional people coming on have changes, we can just revisit it for a vote. Are there any changes to the agenda that any of the current participants wish to propose?
Nope.
Nope.
Are there any conflicts of interest for the matter at hand for us tonight?
Nope.
I'd say that both myself and my family members own property near the properties being discussed, but I don't see any conflict. And I'd be able to, to approach it with an open mind and, fairness, periods of fairness.
How far away are you located, Jeff?
As the crow flies one direction towards Dad's property, about 390 to 400 feet, and towards property I own about 400 feet also the other way, more to the west, southwest. And I should say some of this property, especially in the case of my dad's, is zoned in the same zone as Keith Chamberlain's property is zoned. So, but I'm more than willing to discuss those kind of things and give it, it's fair and balanced too.
Our next meeting date is scheduled for May 15th. I don't know if we'll have anything on the agenda or not. I guess that'll be forthcoming.
And just to let you know, that's when I go on jury duty.
Is that when you start calling in?
We'll see if I, do the routine, but it's for 3 weeks.
3 weeks now. Usually it's 2.
Tell me about it. And I got something else to talk to Mr. Rhodes about.
Okay, I'm good to go with going forward with staff updates because that doesn't require any action. I do want to, at the onset, say my thanks for having put together the briefing summary on the requirements for rezones, just to bring us all on board so we're all operating off of the same wavelength on what's required and what the limits are. So thank you, Marissa, for having put that together.
You're welcome.
I'd also thank you too. Appreciate it.
Does any one person know all that stuff?
Does any one person? I don't know, because I think sometimes the staff in their office are confused about it.
Okay, I just thought I'd ask. I did a good faith effort to read all that stuff, and anyway.
I do have a couple of just some updates for some
things that will be coming up soon. The commissioners have given us the go-ahead to just look into avenues of assistance in drafting a short-term rental ordinance and for assistance in providing the public outreach that's going to be required for that process. So, and it's just strictly right now looking into avenues of assistance. So maybe putting an RFP out there for companies that actually help with drafting short-term rental ordinances and doing public outreach. So just looking into that now. They haven't approved an RFP or anything yet. But we are working into looking at either an RFP and asking our expert on RFPs at that Public Works if there's any other avenues besides RFPs that look for services and assisting the county. And then the other thing is just a reminder that July 1st, money from the state should be available for providing jurisdictions with assistance in drafting and outreach of our required comp plan update and the development regulation update that goes along with it. So in the next few weeks, Phil and I will be working on drafting an RFP for consulting services to help with the outreach and drafting of certain chapters of that comp plan and bringing it forward to you guys in the public for review. So those are two things that should be coming up here pretty soon. And that's all I have for you.
And then I have, because Kel's not here, we did have 2 applications for our vacant seat on PAC. And the Board of County Commissioners did an interview today with one of them. His name is Brad Carlberg. And it sounded like they were gonna go ahead with it. He's not officially a member yet. They still have to approve that. But they did interview him and it was very good. So you can watch that on the website if you wanted to. So probably by our next meeting, he'll be appointed.
In terms of our schedule for the latter half of this year, what are you anticipating in terms of any additional meetings that may be required for the comp plan?
Additional, in addition to the one a month, are you thinking?
I'm thinking of the shoreline, excuse me. I thought it was coming up July 1.
Oh, no, we have the shoreline master program, the grant through ecology to do that work on the website. That project is wrapping up here at the end of, well, it'll be wrapping up pretty quickly, but with ecology, everything is supposed to be submitted with ecology by the end of June.
End of June, okay. Okay.
But that again doesn't have, there's nothing to approve on that really. It's just the creation of the website for the SMP user guide.
Right. Okay, at this point, the question is for staff with how we should proceed, if given that we don't have a quorum.
That's a good question. We do have some public here who I don't believe have comment on anything other than the public hearing. So we can go over that.
It's important we share that.
And then, like I said, we can discuss, we can go into the public hearing, do all of that. We just can't vote, as far as my understanding.
Well, for those that have taken the time to show up tonight, we definitely want to hear anything that anyone wants to say. So we can move into that.
Why don't you guys move to the table here? Yeah, we can first start with saying.
And as folks are coming forward to speak, if you can give us your name and where you're located, your address.
One point of order, are we talking public comment in general or public comment hearing?
This one will be public comment in general, and then I'm going to move into specifically on this action. I don't want to make people have to come back for a second meeting to give testimony just because we didn't have a quorum. But
That's fine.
nonetheless, I do want to take the opportunity tonight to hear what folks have to say, and it will become part of the record, part of the minutes, which can be considered when we do have a quorum.
Right, so you guys.
Is that fair enough?
Before the hearing,
For the
correct?
rezone, yeah.
Okay.
Rezoning.
And you don't have other comments on anything else going on?
I think you guys need to work on getting a forum.
Good point, well taken. As you will know, we are somewhat.
So I take it the comments are for the agenda item tonight?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well then let's go right on ahead and move on into that. So whoever wants to go first can.
Well, we're kind of together, but
Okay, fair enough.
we live at 200 East North Bay Road, so we're just down the road
From Keith.
Keith's property.
Mhm.
And we just came to support this rezoning.
Yep.
I think it's a good thing for Allen because it really opens up the type of businesses that can move into Keith's property. As Keith knows, we cut through his property all the time when we walk down to the post office in Allen. I'm never tempted to come in and buy something from Ornell Stone, but it's going to be very bad to walk by Bent Vine every time I go to the post office. It's going to be a lot more expensive trip to town. But just in general, I think this is a good thing for Allen because it really does open up the property uses for that property. And hopefully a nice restaurant or some other type of business might move in that'd just be good for the little town of Allen. Because business park zoning is kind of limiting on the types of businesses, and village commercial just it really opens things up.
And Keith's a good neighbor, so this will be good for him.
Thank you.
And I may have missed it, but did we get your name?
Oh, Jeff Cizik and Chris Cizik. It's
Thank you.
C-I-Z-E-K.
So pardon my ignorance, I take it then that Bent Vine will be moving from Belfair to Allen?
Yes,
Okay.
that's their plan.
So I think I should go over my staff report a little bit, just so we have it on record, and also because the applicant emailed me a little earlier with a change to the request. Just so we have that on record, and then if we have to have some kind of special meeting, or we'll figure out what we need to do so we can take action on the request too. But I do need to update you on the request, so. Because I haven't emailed the rest of the group on that yet, because I just got an email from that in a couple hours ago. So should I go ahead with that, Matt?
Yeah, we're way out of sync, and I apologize, but
That's okay.
we'll get there.
So the applicant emailed me a couple of hours prior with a change to the request, and that he's requesting just one of the parcels to be rezoned. And that is the parcel 1223050411011, and that is the triangle parcel there at the intersection of Green and East North Bay Road. So he's requesting that one to be rezoned from business park to village commercial, and then keeping the second parcel that is just north of that, as business park. So he submitted a complete application for department on March 8th with the fees for the request. With the change to request now, it's, the request is under, an acre. It's only actually a little over half an acre according to the assessors. Web page. And then there's existing structures on both parcels, like most everybody here, I think, knows, and everybody in the audience. And I do believe the purpose of the parcel that is to be rezoned to, requesting to be rezoned to village commercial may have changed. I'll leave that up to the applicant to inform everyone, if he wants to. And then the zoning, surrounding zoning, we have village commercial to the south. And single family residential on the water side and multifamily medium density residential to the west across the highway. The request was reviewed against the 8 rezoning criteria that is in Mason County Code section 17.5.20, section A. And staff has found that it's met all of the 7 criteria, with the 8 not being applicable in this situation. The CEQA checklist was prepared for the project, and we made a formal determination of non-significance on the request on March 20th, but the comment period ending on April 3rd. We got 2 comments, which were general comments we typically get from PUD3 and the Department of Ecology, that were either attached to the packet or forwarded to the PAC members. All property owners were notified by mail. The notifications were in the mail on March 21st. These are all property owners within 300 feet of the subject parcels. Public notice was in the Mason County Shelton Journal on April 6th and 13th, with public notice posted on site on March 22nd. Staff didn't receive any public comment for this project or proposal, and staff is still recommending approval even with the change of request by the applicant. So then that ends what I have to say about the rezone. If anybody has any questions or comments, or if the applicant wants to add anything.
The question I had to do with what the anticipated volume of traffic into the facility would be, and how ingress egress at that corner of North Bay and Highway 3 is going to be accommodated, because I know it often packs up, particularly at rush hour at the end of the day, right there at that corner. And I was just curious what was anticipated and what was being planned for that.
Well, so the applicant originally had interest from a brewery for leasing that parcel there, the triangle parcel. But you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like they may have backed out of that. So there is not a current use proposed for that building. And then traffic, that would be something that would be, that's something that's going to be reviewed during like a permit process. So whether it's a building permit or it's going, if they need a special use permit for that corner.
Okay.
Mac, do you see my hand or not?
Go ahead, Jeff.
No, I didn't.
Okay, no problem. I just have 2 minor technical things. On the on the paperwork we were provided, there was a line that said that this request does not require amendment to the future land use map. Is the land use map the same as the zoning? Or not? Is that a different map?
That's a different map.
Okay, fine. And then the only concern that I've heard in the last year about anything, rezoning this or to whatever ends up being rezoned as, is the concern that the marijuana shop to the north only had the concern not about what got changed, but it didn't prohibit them from being non-compliant anymore with like setbacks. Apparently with there's some setback with the state. And I don't know what that is. I'm just saying, this is what I've heard by the owner, Christine Marshall of the properties north of Cornellstone. Not against it, just, making sure we don't zone somebody non-conforming in the process of changing the zone. Or if we are, let's do what we can to make both work, because I don't see any reason why one has to be one or the other, should be both.
I haven't heard anything on that issue. That would have to be something I'd have to look into.
And all I'd say is, since we don't have a quorum, maybe we could look at that and make sure. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a problem. It's just something I think that needs to be addressed. Make sure we don't walk into it blind, accidentally, just not by not knowing. That's my two bits on the matter, Matt.
Okay. Do any of the other commissioners have questions?
Actually, Mac, you asked the one thing I was gonna ask. So. I mean, depending on the time of day, that's gonna be a very busy intersection. But
Yeah, it's a limited periods of time during the day from what I've observed, but at times it's quite congested.
in the morning, I seriously doubt the brewery's gonna be open, so.
Yeah, I
morning,
know.
Yeah, it's the afternoon. And of course, it's always the weekend, but anyway. But you asked the question and it was to my satisfaction. Of course, on the other hand, if the brewery gets really populated because it's putting out a very good product, may have to address it again.
Well, it's outside of our scope, but definitely it's something we can flag as a concern for the appropriate entity to address the transportation issues.
I think that's gonna come up in the process. Somebody's gonna say something.
Personally, as the other commissioner here, I've looked at all the points raised in the application, and I don't disagree. I don't see any issues, so they're, in conflict with rezone requests, so.
Yeah, with the guidelines that we have for rezoning, I don't see a conflict either, but nonetheless, we do not have a quorum to be able to take action.
Yep.
So that begs the question of how we can try to either have an additional meeting, or what process we should use to try to move this forward.
I don't know 100% what the best way is, but we can look into calling a special meeting. Those can be completely online. We don't have to have any in-person option for that. So we can discuss that, find a time that would work where we could get a quorum together. Or we could postpone it to the May meeting.
What is the applicant's preference?
You're asking me to speak. So to clarify, on Sunday, I received notice that Bent Bine's pulling out. So they will not be renting the building at this time. So now we're just going forward with changing the zoning on the property anyway, because we feel the 151 address, that's the one closest to the triangle, would be best suited as a retail environment. Whereas the second building is 151 is its address. It's going, looking at the view of the village commercial, that building doesn't really fit that well for it. It's not really a storefront. And it's also more likely to be used for other purposes than retail that fit more closely to light manufacturing. So that's why we wanted to pull that one back and just use it as try to use it as a light manufacturing zone.
Mac,
So I take that to mean then that there is no immediate fire and this could wait until our next scheduled meeting.
Correct.
Okay. Then I think that would probably be the easiest and most efficient approach. I do believe before we take a vote, Marissa, you'll need to do your briefing again for those that have not heard it. And then we could proceed to vote when it's at that time during the May meeting. Are there any objections from any other commissioners with postponing it till the May meeting?
no,
Sounds good to me.
just make sure we get them all there so we can get.
Yeah.
Get this, yeah,
No, they said earlier, we should have a new commissioner at that time, so. That'll help.
so in effect, as far as this commission is concerned, we table it till the next meeting, basically.
It will be tabled.
Okay.
But comments that were given will be collected and made part of the minutes. Those minutes will be made available to the commissioners that were not in attendance tonight. And the briefing will be made again. Staff briefing will be made again for those that were not in attendance before any action is taken. And technically, if we're having another meeting on it, it would be open for public comment at that time as well on the agenda. I took comments tonight because I didn't want to force those individuals that took the time to come out tonight to testify to be forced to come back again to redo it. So for an agreement on that, I don't know that there's anything more that we can accomplish tonight. Does anyone else have anything for the good of the order?
Nope.
No.
All right, I don't see anything, I guess we're adjourned.
Well, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Can't vote.
You can't vote.
Both of you? Okay.
We will not agree or disagree with you.
There we go. We're adjourned.